So we are still on the Python for Beginners series, and today we have a very interesting question at hand. So before you look at my solution, make sure you try to solve this particular question on your own to see whether or not you'll be able to solve it. After that, you can continue with this tutorial and look at my solution on how I'm able to solve this particular one. So the question is, you have been tasked with creating a program that allows a student to input the names of courses they have taken in a semester and their corresponding mark they receive for each course. The program should then calculate and display the total marks and the average mark for the semester. All right, so this is a simple one. We have to just make sure we create a code that asks students to enter their course names and also ask them to enter the marks they've gotten for each of these courses. Then after that, or after getting all these marks, we'll be able to sum up these marks and also find the average mark for the semester. So let's go ahead and do that. So first, what we have to do is to get the names of the courses the students have taken. But before we can also get that and store it, we have to know the total number of courses they've taken per that particular semester. So I'll start by doing a number of courses, and this will be integer. And in this input, I'm just going to ask the student that, okay, how many courses have you taken this semester? Okay, so after knowing the number of courses the students have taken, I can then create a for loop that will run repeatedly for the number of courses these students have taken. And in each iteration, I'll go ahead and take the name of the course. So we can just do for I in range of number of courses, and each time we are iterating we will be taking the name of the courses. So we can just do course name, and this will be input. Then we'll tell the user to enter the name of the course they have taken. All right, so after getting the name of the course, we have to save it. So to save it, I'll come here and create an empty list which I'll call courses name, or yeah, course names, and this is equal to an empty list. So in every iteration that I'm taking this course name from the student, I can just go ahead and do course names dot append, and then I'll go ahead and append the course name. So by so doing, if you run this code, it will first ask us about the number of courses, and based on that number of courses, we'll be able to run this for loop for that number of times and get the names of the courses. So for instance, if I should enter two number of courses I've taken for this semester, and then I can go ahead and enter English and also enter math. So this for loop will just run for two times, and in each of these iterations it will take the name of the courses and store it in a variable called names. All right, so now that we have gotten the course names, we should go ahead and also get the marks the students have gotten for that particular course. So for that, we'll still need a for loop to iterate through the names of the course. So we'll do for I in course names, and each time we are iterating, we'll just take an input called course mark. So we'll call this one maybe course underscore mark. That's the mark the students have gotten for that course. And this time around, we'll be taking it as float because students can get 80.5 and so on. So float of input, and inside here we are telling the student now to what, enter the marks they have gotten for a particular course. So enter the mark gotten for, so in this case I also like to do this one f string so that I can embed the particular course name inside here. So over here I'll just put I. So in every iteration, I will stand for each of the courses we have taken here and we have stored in this particular list. So enter the mark you've gotten for I. So I can be math, can be English, and so on. So I'll just leave it like this. And then after taking this course mark, we have to also append it or save it in the list. So I'll come down here and also do course marks, and it's equal to an empty list. So down here we can just save that course mark. So we'll do course mark dot append, and then we'll append course mark. So I'll come down here and print our course names, and I also do the same thing by printing the course marks so that we can run it and visualize it. So I also print course marks, and I'm going to separate this by an empty string. All right, so I'll clear the terminal now and let's give this a try. By running this now, it should ask me how many courses per that semester. So for simplicity, I'm just going to enter 2 and I'll enter maths. I'll also enter English. And now you can see enter the mark gotten for math. So now I have to enter the marks I've gotten for math. So if let's say for math, I've gotten 80. English, I've gotten let's say 78. And you can now see that we got what? The two lists. We got math, English, we got the marks we have gotten for them, 80 and 78. And we are taking them as float. So our code is working now. So now what you have to go ahead and do is to first find the sum. So you can see the program said you should calculate and display the total marks, okay, and the average mark per semester. So first, let's find the total marks. So the total marks is the summation of all the individual marks. So let's call this total underscore marks, and this should be equal to, we can use the sum method in Python. So in Python, we have a sum method where you can give it a list of numbers for it to sum it for you. So in this case, we are giving it a list of our what course marks. So I'll just do course marks here. Yes, and this will just go ahead and sum all of it for us. So after summing, we can now print our information that okay, the total sum or the sum of your total marks per this semester is this. And over here we just embed our total marks inside here. So let's try this out and see if it works. If it works, then we'll come and finish it by calculating the average. So let's try how many courses per this semester. I will still enter 2. I've taken math and I've taken English. For math, 80. For English, this time around, let's do 70. And you can see, so now the sum of your total marks is 150. 70, 80 is 150. So you can see we are getting everything right. All right, so we've gotten the first step. Now let's finalize everything by getting the average. So the average, to calculate the average, we have to still use these total marks divided by the number of courses taken by that particular semester. So I'll come down here and I'll say our average marks is equal to total marks divided by, we can use the number of courses, or we can just find the length of this particular course name. So you can do it, just divide it by the what number of courses. Or in other words, if you don't want to use the number of courses, which I think you should, you can just do length of what any of these lists, because we are just taking the same thing. So length of course names or length of course marks will also do. But I want it simple, so I'll just take number of what courses, and this should give us the average. So we can also print the average now. So the average of your let me correct it. The average marks, let's do the average marks for this semester is, and over here we can just embed average marks, and that's it. So yeah, that's the average mark for this semester is the average mark we've calculated. So I think for now we are done. We have been able to solve this particular question, but we can't conclude until we run this code and try it for ourselves. So let's see how many courses this time around. Let me enter 3. I've taken math, if I could spell math correctly. I've taken science, and I've taken English. The marks for math still enter 80. The marks for science still enter 85. And for English, let me enter something like 60. All right, so that's it. So at the end, these are the courses or the course names, and these are the marks. And then the sum of all this is 255. So when you add 80, 85, and 60, it should give you 255, which that is correct. Then the average mark for this is what? 255, 225, my bad, 225 divided by the number of courses you've taken, which is 3. So that is correct. If you are doubting, you can just pull out your calculator and try it out for yourself. So let's do that. Let's say we have 225, then we divide that by 3. So if you are doubting, just try this out and you can see it's 75. So everything is correct, and our average mark for the semester is 75, guys. So this is something you should try building it yourself. You can try different approach and see how best you can solve it. After that, you can look at my solution. And also, if you know a simpler solution, kindly put it in the comment section. Make sure you share this video with anyone you know who is also learning Python to be trying these kind of things so that they can improve upon their Python skills. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the upcoming tutorial.